Look at Woody Harrelson. Seriously, take a good look at him. This man is currently 64 years old. Let that reality sink in for a moment. He is 64, yet when you observe him on the screen, there is this undeniable vitality, a presence that leads you to believe he might be in his early 40s. His skin possesses a certain clarity. His eyes have a distinct brightness. His energy levels are the kind that most individuals lose somewhere in their 30s, right when life begins weighing them down with inflammation and processed foods. So, what exactly is happening here? Is it merely genetics? Is it some form of Hollywood magic? Is it an expensive treatment only available to the wealthy and famous? Actually, it is far more accessible than any of those things. It is something that has been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years. It is something your grandmother might have understood before the industrial food system convinced us that we required meat and dairy at every single meal to remain strong. Woody Harrelson has been consuming a primarily plant-based diet for over 3 decades. Not just a vegetarian diet, not just a vegan one, but he has been a raw vegan for much of that duration. He has been very vocal about 5 specific plant foods that he considers the cornerstone of why he does not seem to age like everyone else. Now, before you roll your eyes and assume this is just another celebrity diet fad, I want you to consider something. What if the reason so many of us feel older than we actually are, the reason we wake up with joint pain, brain fog, and that deep-seated tiredness? What if that isn't aging at all? What if that is simply inflammation? What if that is our body screaming because we have been feeding it the wrong fuel for decades? Because here's the truth the food industry does not want you to think about. Your body is designed to heal itself. Your cells are designed to regenerate. Your skin is designed to glow. Your brain is designed to stay sharp. But none of that can occur when you are constantly flooding your system with inflammatory foods that trigger oxidative stress and accelerate cellular aging. Woody figured this out back in 1987. He was on the set of Cheers, already successful, already living the Hollywood lifestyle. Someone gave him a book regarding the connection between dairy and mucus production. He read it, something clicked, and he made a decision that altered the entire trajectory of his health. I am not saying everyone needs to go raw vegan. That is a very specific choice that requires genuine dedication. But when someone makes that dramatic of a shift and then maintains that level of vitality for over 30 years, we need to pay attention. We need to ask what they are doing right. Specifically, we need to look at these 5 plant foods because these are not exotic superfoods that cost $50 an ounce. They are accessible foods that have been fueling human health for millennia. Let's start with the first one, and it might surprise you because it is so simple. Avocados. Woody is obsessed with avocados. He has talked about eating them almost daily. When you understand what those healthy fats are doing in your body, it starts to make sense. Avocados are loaded with monounsaturated fats, the same fats found in olive oil that are linked to longevity in Mediterranean populations. They are also packed with vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cell membranes from oxidative damage. That is the damage that manifests as wrinkles, age spots, and that dull complexion that makes people look older than they are. But here is what most people don't realize. Those healthy fats also help you absorb nutrients from other plant foods. All those colorful vegetables, the carotenoids that give them their orange and red hues, your body cannot absorb them efficiently without fat. So when Woody throws avocado into a salad, he is unlocking the benefits of everything else he is eating. There is also a compound in avocados called glutathione. Your body makes this naturally. It is called the master antioxidant because it recycles other antioxidants and directly neutralizes free radicals. However, glutathione production declines as we age. Avocados give your body what it needs to keep those levels up. The second food, which Woody has been evangelical about, is leafy greens. Now, I know what you are thinking. Everyone says, eat your greens. But there is a difference between nibbling on iceberg lettuce and consuming the volume and variety that Woody eats. We are talking kale, spinach, collard greens, Swiss chard, arugula, dandelion greens, and beet greens. The deep green stuff is so packed with chlorophyll that it almost looks black when you juice it. These contain compounds that literally activate longevity pathways in your cells. There is a phytochemical called sulforaphane found in broccoli sprouts and cruciferous greens. It activates something called the NRF2 pathway. When that pathway switches on, your cells ramp up the production of their own antioxidant enzymes. So instead of just getting antioxidants from food, you are training your body to make its own defense system stronger. And then there are the nitrates in leafy greens. Not the synthetic nitrates in processed meats, but natural nitrates from plants that your body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide keeps your blood vessels flexible and dilated. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching your skin, your brain, and every organ. That is part of why people on plant-based diets often report that glow. Woody eats these greens raw when possible or very lightly steamed because heat can destroy delicate enzymes and phytochemicals. When he makes a smoothie, he is packing it with huge amounts of raw greens. That is a direct delivery system for compounds that protect your DNA, reduce inflammation, and keep your cells functioning younger than they are. The third food might seem random at first, but it is brilliant. Algae, specifically spirulina and chlorella. Woody has mentioned these in multiple interviews, and they are a staple in his morning routine. Most people think of algae as pond scum, but spirulina and chlorella are among the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Spirulina is about 60 to 70% protein by weight, and it is a complete protein with all the essential amino acids. That is important for maintaining muscle mass as you age, which most people start losing in their 30s. Beyond protein, spirulina contains phycocyanin, a blue pigment with powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Studies show it can reduce oxidative stress markers in the blood and protect against DNA damage. That is the kind of cellular protection that translates into slower aging. Chlorella goes even further because it binds to heavy metals and helps your body eliminate them. We are all exposed to heavy metals constantly from water, food, and air pollution. Chlorella acts like a sponge, grabbing onto mercury, lead, and cadmium, and escorting them out. Both algae are loaded with B vitamins, iron, magnesium, and essential fatty acids. When Woody adds a tablespoon of spirulina to his smoothie, he is getting more nutrition than most people get from an entire processed meal. The fourth food is nuts and seeds. Woody is particularly fond of almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds. He eats them raw, often soaked overnight to improve digestibility and reduce anti-nutrients. Here is why this matters. Nuts and seeds are rich in vitamin E, selenium, zinc, and magnesium. These are minerals most people are deficient in, and those deficiencies accelerate aging. Selenium supports thyroid function and your antioxidant systems. Zinc is essential for immune function and skin health. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, everything from energy production to DNA repair. They also contain plant sterols, compounds that compete with cholesterol for absorption in your gut. That helps lower LDL cholesterol naturally, reducing cardiovascular risk. Heart disease is still the #1 killer in most developed countries, and Woody at 64 has talked about having excellent cardiovascular markers. Walnuts specifically are one of the best plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids in the form of ALA. Regular walnut consumption has been linked to improved brain health and reduced inflammation. Woody eats them almost every day. And then there is the fiber, which feeds your gut microbiome. A diverse, thriving gut microbiome is one of the hallmarks of healthy aging in blue zone populations. The fifth food ties everything together: legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas. Woody has been very clear that legumes are a major part of his diet, often multiple times a day. Here is why they are such a longevity powerhouse. First, they are one of the best sources of plant protein and fiber together. That combination keeps your blood sugar stable, which is critical for preventing the spikes that lead to inflammation and accelerated aging. When your blood sugar is constantly spiking and crashing, your body produces more advanced glycation end products, appropriately abbreviated as AGEs. These literally age you faster by damaging proteins in your skin, blood vessels, and organs. Legumes prevent that. They release energy slowly, they keep you full, they feed your gut bacteria, and they are loaded with resistant starch, which acts as a prebiotic and improves insulin sensitivity. They also contain polyphenols with direct anti-aging effects. Black beans and kidney beans are high in anthocyanins. the same purple and blue pigments found in blueberries that protect your brain and cardiovascular system. Legumes are one of the best food sources of folate, which is critical for DNA synthesis and repair. As we age, our DNA accumulates damage, and folate helps your body repair it and maintain the integrity of your genetic code. Now, here is what I want you to notice about these 5 foods: avocados, leafy greens, algae, nuts and seeds, and legumes. None of them are processed. None come in a box with a barcode and ingredients you cannot pronounce. They are just food, real food that humans have eaten for thousands of years. And yet, when you eat them consistently, something remarkable happens. The inflammation you thought was normal starts to fade. The joint pain you assume was just aging eases. The brain fog lifts. Your skin clears and glows. Your energy stabilizes. You sleep better. You feel younger. Because you are not reversing aging in some magical way. You are removing the things that were making you age faster than you should. You are giving your body the tools to do what it has always been designed to do: repair, regenerate, and thrive. Woody didn't stumble onto a secret formula. He just stopped poisoning his body with inflammatory foods and started nourishing it. And he did it consistently for 30 years. That is the key, not a 2-week cleanse, but a fundamental shift in how he thinks about food. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Woody Harrelson is rich. He has access to organic everything. And yes, to an extent. But these 5 categories of food are not expensive. Beans and lentils are among the cheapest foods you can buy. A bag of spinach costs less than a fast food burger. Nuts and seeds in bulk are reasonable. Even avocados at their most expensive are cheaper per meal than most animal products. The real cost isn't money, it is convenience. It is easier to grab processed food. It is easier to eat what you have always eaten. But that standard diet is killing people slowly, making them sick, tired, inflamed, and old before their time. And we have normalized it. We think it is normal to feel exhausted in your 40s, to be on multiple medications by 50, to fall apart in your 60s. Woody at 64 is proof it doesn't have to be that way. Not because plants are magical, but because plants don't come loaded with the inflammatory compounds, hormones, antibiotics, and oxidized fats that animal products do. So let's talk about how you can start. I don't want this to just be inspirational. You don't have to go raw vegan overnight, but you can start incorporating these 5 categories consistently. Start with 1 meal. Make breakfast a smoothie packed with leafy greens, half an avocado, some berries, a tablespoon of spirulina, a handful of walnuts, and a plant-based milk. That is 4 of the 5 categories before you've even started your day. For lunch, make a huge salad. Use leafy greens as the base. Add chickpeas or black beans. Throw in pumpkin or sunflower seeds. Add avocado. Dress it with lemon juice and olive oil. That is all 5 categories, and you will be shocked at how satisfied you feel and how your energy doesn't crash in the afternoon. For dinner, make a lentil soup or a bean chili with tons of vegetables along with some whole grain bread or quinoa. You are nourishing every cell with the building blocks it needs. In the first few days, you might feel a little different as your body adjusts, especially coming from processed foods. You might have some digestive changes as your gut bacteria shift. That is normal. That is your microbiome recalibrating. But within a week or 2, you will notice things. You will wake up more rested. Your skin will start looking clearer. The puffiness around your eyes will reduce. Your joint pain will ease. Your energy will be more consistent instead of a roller coaster of spikes and crashes. Within a month, people will start asking what you are doing differently. And your secret is simple. You stopped eating foods that inflame and age your body. You started eating foods that nourish and protect your cells. That is the whole thing. Now let's address the common pushback. What about protein? What about B12? What about iron? These deserve real answers. Protein first. The idea that you cannot get enough on a plant-based diet is outdated. Legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and even leafy greens contain protein. Spirulina is more protein-dense than beef. Eat a varied diet of whole plant foods and you are getting all the essential amino acids. Woody has maintained his physical condition for decades on plants. B12 is a legitimate consideration. It is produced by bacteria, And in our sanitized world, it is harder to get from plants. But even meat eaters are often deficient because absorption decreases with age. The solution is simple. Take a B12 supplement or eat fortified foods. Woody takes B12. Most long-term vegans do. It is a non-issue. Iron, plant-based iron is non-heme iron, absorbed differently than heme iron from meat. But absorption increases dramatically when you eat vitamin C at the same time, which happens naturally when you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables. Plant-based populations do not have higher rates of anemia when they are eating a varied whole food diet. The real question isn't whether a plant-based diet can provide adequate nutrition. The science is clear that it can. The real question is whether you are willing to challenge the conditioning the food industry has given you. Because when you look at the blue zones, where people routinely live past 100 in good health, what you find is they are eating mostly plants, beans, greens, whole grains, and nuts. The same categories Woody built his diet around. Let's get personal for a moment. Why should you care what some actor eats? Because every single person watching this is aging right now. Your cells are either being supported in their natural repair processes or they are being damaged by what you put in your body. And the tragic thing is, most people don't realize they have a choice. They think aging is passive. They think genetics are destiny, but genetics load the gun and lifestyle pulls the trigger. Diet is one of the biggest factors you can control. You eat 3 to 5 times a day. That is 3 to 5 opportunities every day to either support your cellular health or undermine it. You cannot change the last 30 years, but you can change today. And 10 years from now, you are going to be 10 years older no matter what. The question is whether you will feel like you are in your prime or like you have been run over by life. You see it around you already. People in their 50s who look 70 and people in their 70s who look 50. The difference isn't luck. It is daily choices accumulated over time. So here is what I want you to do. Not someday, but right now in your mind, make a commitment. For the next 7 days, incorporate these 5 categories into every meal. Avocados, leafy greens, algae if you can get it, nuts and seeds, and legumes. You don't have to give up anything else yet. Just add these foods in abundance. See how you feel. Give your body 7 days of optimal fuel and see what it does with that gift. Because here is what I have seen over and over. Once people feel the difference, once they wake up without inflammation and move through the day with stable energy, they don't want to go back. That is what happened to Woody. He felt so dramatically different that going back wasn't even a consideration. There is one more thing. Woody hasn't just maintained physical vitality. He radiates a kind of joy and presence a lot of people lose as they age. And that is connected to his diet too. When you reduce inflammation in your body, you reduce inflammation in your brain. Neuroinflammation is a key driver of depression, anxiety, brain fog, and cognitive decline. When your gut bacteria thrive on all that fiber and those polyphenols, they produce short-chain fatty acids that support brain health and help your body produce serotonin and dopamine. You are not just eating for your body, you are eating for your mind. So here we are, 64 years old and looking 42. Not because of surgery or expensive treatments or a genetic lottery, because of avocados, leafy greens, algae, nuts and seeds, and legumes. Because of a commitment made 30 years ago to prioritize cellular health over convenience. You can make that commitment today, not because you are special, but because you understand that food is information. Every bite sends signals to your cells, signals that either accelerate aging or support longevity. You can watch this and nod along and go right back to eating the same way. Most people will. Or you can be different. You can be someone who actually implements what you learn. 10 years from now, your future self is either going to thank you or resent you for what you do today. Which version of that story do you want to live? The 5 foods are right there. The information is right here. The choice, that is yours. If this story has changed the way you look at the fuel you provide your body, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the secrets of health and longevity that have been hidden by modern convenience. Plant the seeds for your future self today. The next treasure of wellness will be revealed very soon.